Hey guys, yeah, I'm doing this uncut, unscripted, and on the fly. So, the Zombot arc, or the zombie robot arc, for lack of a better term. This is a story arc that was created by Ian Flynn for the IDW Sonic comic, and according to Matt of Mega Beatman's True Blue Reviews, it's going to be wrapping up within the next few months. And all I can say about that is, thank God. And the reason I say that, folks, is a near 2-year run with one story arc is long enough. I mean, it's one thing that we had to deal with that when, he decided to do the Mecha Sally arc, back when the Sonic comic was under the Archie license, as well as do it with the Shadow World Crisis, Panic in the Sky, Brave New World, Sonic Unleashed arc. But seriously, Ian Flynn, and I say this with all due respect, needs to stop writing long-term story arcs if he's going to spread himself thin. I talked about this before, but Ian Flynn is one of those guys that unless he is an expert, unless he has years of experience, and he does, but I mean real years of experience. I mean years of where he knows that if he spreads himself out, he's still going to be able to make time to focus on certain story arcs that are going to run for a multiple gambit of issues. And obviously he's not really learned that part of being a comic book writer that well yet. And I say that with all due respect, because the fact of the matter is, if Ian Flynn learned that aspect of being a comic book writer, to this, a long time ago when he started, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But the fact that he's spreading himself across the board to other comic book titles and other projects outside of comics, it's not helping. It's basically making things drag on a lot longer than they should. And not only that, but on top of the fact that IDW's already had delays in the titles, in the Sonic titles, doesn't speak good volumes either. I mean, Ian Flynn is a main name attached to the IDW Sonic comic. So when people hear about it being delayed, yeah, the blame's going to go on to IDW, but then the IDW staff, or the heads up, are going to direct the blame at the guy whose name is at the top of creativity when it comes to the Sonic comic, that being Ian Flynn. Or at least he'll be one of them they're going to point the blame at. The fact of the matter is, Ian Flynn, hopefully after this is all said and done, does not do something like this again. I mean, my honest opinion, and I said this before, I believe he's trying to make up. He's trying to make up for not being able to complete the Mecha Sally arc when the comic was under the Archie license. That's my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion. He never got a chance to complete the Mecha Sally arc the way he wanted. Thus, we're getting this almost 2-year run, feels like 2 years, maybe I'm wrong, of this Zombot arc. And it just, to me, it's a story arc that feels like it could have wrapped up at the beginning of this year or at the end of last year. But no, they're going to drag it on. I mean, you just had your 25th anniversary issue. You could have wrapped it up in there. But no, they're going to drag it on for another few months. Why? I'll tell you why. Because he's working on other IPs, other comic book titles. Other projects outside of the comics. And the fact that, he's doing all that, it's not helping this story arc. Now, I'm sure, and I say this with all due respect, I'm sure he's got plenty of people helping him out. I'm pretty sure he does. But even they must be thinking, okay, shouldn't this story arc be over by now? I'm just saying. I mean, I was just drinking some iced coffee there. I mean, basically, you look at some of the first story arcs they had, and they didn't last this long. They did not last this long. You want to know how long this story arc's been going on? Since the end of the initial year that this comic entered IDW's hands and household. That's how long it's been going on. And to me, it feels like that. And to me, it needs to end. It needs to. I mean, honestly, you think Sega's actually happy that one of the last images they see in the recent 25th issue is a lot of the main game characters like this? Beep, we gonna suck, eat brain, roboticize, can we robots, robots. You think they like that? You think they like seeing most of the chaotics or Shadow or Vanilla, all eyes glowing red and the insides looking like they've been replaced by red? It's like, come on. I don't think Sega is happy about that. And hopefully once these characters get restored, and maybe it'll be sooner than we think, and the story arc comes to an end, Ian Flynn can focus on just doing short-term story arcs. Do 2 or 3 parters or 4 parters, that's fine, but don't drag them out for so long. Because you know what's going to happen, and I said this before, you're going to lose interest. People are going to lose interest. I speak of, Mega Beatman, Matt, in his True Blue Reviews YouTube channel, or series of reviews. And it sounds like in his recent review, he's losing interest. And that's saying something when one of the main reviewers of your comic book series is starting to lose interest in one of your story arcs because it's dragging on for too long. You can't be doing these kind of stories, especially if you're working on other projects. Yes, you could have help here and there, but here's the thing. On top of that, if you're going to have help, maybe you should listen to what they're trying to tell you. Maybe they themselves are trying to say, hey, let's wrap this up. I'm just saying, and again, I believe, honestly, Ian Flynn did this to compensate for the fact that he never got to finish the Mecha Sally arc the way he wanted. Yes, he was able to complete the, the Shadow World Crisis Panic in the Sky arc, Sonic Unleashed arc, if you will, the way he wanted. Well, not exactly, but somewhat the way he wanted. But he never got to finish the Mecha Sally arc the way he wanted, and I think he's making up for that with this. And you know what? I hope, honest to God, someone at IDW talks to him. I hope to God they talk to him and say, look, you can remain on the book and everything, but if you're not going to put your main heart and soul in this, and you're going to drag this on, and you're going to cause us to lose millions and thousands and millions of dollars in sales, then maybe you shouldn't be doing these kind of story arcs unless you're going to be fully committed to it. I mean, it's no wonder, and I say this with all due respect, it's no wonder people question Ian Flynn. It's like, to them, he doesn't know when to wrap things up when they should be wrapped up. Like I said, this story arc should have been over by at least this issue, issue 25, or at least at the end of last year. Not dragged on for another few months. I don't know. The truth is, in my opinion, I understand maybe why Ian Flynn did this. I understand why. My personal opinion and speculation is he's doing it to make up for the fact that the Mecha Sally arc did not end the way he wanted. So this is his answer to making up for that. And if that's the case, you know what? If that's the case, Ian, I don't know if he'll hear this or anything. But if that's the case, fine. But afterwards, please focus on just shorter term stories. Your comic, like I said in my live stream last week, and Lance Javak and others have pointed out, the comic went from being in the top 5 when it started to being below the top 50 or 100. And that's not good. That's not a good sign. So hopefully when this is all said and done, guys, Ian Flynn or the other writers that will come on board will focus on more shorter term stories. Because you know what? This is ridiculous. You want to know why I'm not interested in the IDW book? It's because of stuff like this. It's not because of, this character is similar to that character, No. It's not because, Tangle's their Sally, or Whisper's their Bunny. No. It's not that. It's the fact that these kind of story arcs drag out for far too long when we know what the damn when we pretty much know what the damn result's going to be, what the outcome's going to be in the end. It was pretty much spelled out here in the 25th issue. So, hopefully when this is all said and done, Ian Flynn, if he remains on the book, which he probably will probably have been talked to by the people at IDW, maybe even Sega, and informed or suggested to stop doing these kind of stories unless he's going to fully commit to it, and not go off and do other projects unless he finds a way to truly balance it out to where he can find time to do all of them without any problems or delays. So that's all I'm going to say, though, guys. I just thought I'd come on here and just give my thoughts on it. Kind of an expansion of yesterday's little short discussion. But let me know what you guys all think down below. I know some of you may or may not agree with me on my thoughts here. But let me know what you think. Comment down below, and I'm out.